I knew I wanted to be a writer and a novelist since I was a very small child. And what everybody would tell me is that I was crazy, that I would die in ruin, that my life would be a disaster, that I would end up under a bridge in misery with tuberculosis and there forgotten, and they would find me dead on the subway, like, who was a beggar, something. And I would say, oh my God, what I'm getting into, you know? So that was my main concern. How the hell do you make a living trying to do this? How do you survive being a writer? The idea that you could take words made out of ink and paper and create worlds and characters and universes and stories and emotions and fear and fun and images. And you could do that just, with your mind and with ink and paper. To me, it seemed like magic. And I think maybe that's why in the Cemetery of Forgotten Books, we have this metaphor of a wonderful library in which essentially there's not the one book. It's you may choose any book among hundreds of thousands, and all of them are worthy. And maybe some of them just have one reader waiting for them, and maybe some of the others have many more. It doesn't matter. It's the promise, I think, of the world of the mind, the beauty of knowledge, of the beauty of literature. And these things to me were the most important things as a child. I think this is why I became a writer, because I wanted to figure out how that thing worked, and I wanted to do it myself. Los Angeles seems a city that makes history evaporate. And it's a very interesting effect. And I've lived there many years, and I've noticed this. And as opposed to places that seem to be getting heavier and heavier with history, Los Angeles makes history disappear. It's a very interesting and sometimes sinister thing. And to me, the thing is, because I'm a product more of this older world, because I come from a very old city, from old, corrupt, decadent Europe. In many ways, that is the world that is inside of me. I'm a product of that. I was born here, raised here. So no matter where I go, even if I go to California, the golden land of promise, or I go to a very different place, all of that is inside of me. What are your literary influences? What books influence you? Sometimes say, if I have to be honest, the thing that mostly influences me is music. And say, but music has nothing to do with literature. I say, to me, it does a lot. And I think of language as I think of music. And when you're composing a piece of music, your harmony and tempo, and you have counterpoint, and you have orchestration, and you have timbre, and you have colors, and when you create a musical score for an orchestra, even though the listener may perceive just this wall of sound, and you may not be necessarily aware of the technicalities of it, you just feel it. I think that the same is the case of literature, in the same that it has to be composed and orchestrated, and you have to play with all these different instruments, this huge orchestra that is language. And this is what I try to do. That is my ambition. And I think that is what the books are all about. Of course, when you read them, you think that they are about this guy or this other character who had this adventure, about this mystery, but this is an illusion. Literature is about itself. I really discovered audiobooks, I think, when I went to live in the United States. I think in there they were very popular because of the structure of these suburban areas, people who spend a long time driving back and forth to work, and they say, I spend 3 hours, 4 hours a day in the car. I want to use that for something that is for me. And I'm very intrigued. I'm still, because I'm a writer and I come from books that are made of paper, to me, prose is something that sounds in the silence of your mind. So sometimes I need to make the effort to but because of these experiences I've been having over the years, and I'm working with actors that bring this wonderful gift, that they have to make the text come alive in a different way. I think it's a great thing that people are experiencing that and say, hey, why not? Life is short. Use your time for good things, and if you can enjoy a good book while in the car or in the train or running around the park or whatever you're going to do, go for it. To me, a perfect day, which would be a happy day. When I think of happiness as what is happiness? To me, happiness is peace of mind. I know I have low expectations. I don't expect euphorias or kind of inflammations of the mind with people go like, no, to me, happiness is that sense that you're in peace with yourself and in peace with the world. And that you think that whatever is happening, whatever you're doing with your time in this planet is worth it. If you have this degree of peace, and sometimes you have it, and many times you don't. You just feel that everything is wrong, that you made a mistake, that whatever. But if I have that, I think that all the rest, whatever I'm doing, will turn out right. So, I'll settle for peace of mind.